Hey guys, this is Group 4, and today we're going to blow your minds with our knowledge of Western intellectual properties, if that's possible. So to start off, we got a little history. The first noted known use of intellectual property came in 500 BCE. The Greek colony of Sybaris were granted year-long monopolies for creating particular culinary delights. This is the first known use of intellectual property. There are three other notable references to intellectual property in ancient times, and they are cited in the Genesis of American Patent and Copyright Law, written by Bugbee in 1967. These examples are generally thought to be atypical. As far as we know, there were no institutions or conventions of intellectual property protection in ancient Greece or Rome. Today, there are two sub-regions under the Western intellectual property view: the American view, which is more utilitarian, or the European view, which is the one we are going to focus on today. Who would have thought that the American view would be so communistic? Anyways, the four components of European IP are trademarks, trade secrets, patents, and copyrights. First, we'll start with trademark. A trademark is a recognizable sign, logo, or expression which identifies products or services of a particular source from another. Unauthorized usage of trademarks by producing and trading counterfeit goods is known as brand piracy. The first use of trademarks was in the Roman Empire, blacksmiths who made swords to put their own trademark on it. So, do any of these logos look familiar? Yeah, I thought so. These are all recognized as being trademarked. Next, we have trade secrets. A trade secret is a formula, process, design, pattern, or any compilation of information which is not generally known. It's a way for business to gain advantage over competitors or customers. In other words, it's basically classified information. Did you ever wonder what the secret ingredient for Coke products is? Or perhaps the most anticipated trade secret of all time? Dun dun dun! The Krabby Patty secret formula. These are all examples of trade secrets that the world may never know. Next, we have patents. A patent is an intellectual property right granted to inventors to exclude others from making money off of their ideas for a limited time, 20 years, in exchange for public disclosure. There are three types of patents: utility, any new and useful process, machine, article of manufacture, or improvement there. A design patent, new, original, and ornamental design for an article of manufacture, and plant patent, any distinct or new variety of plant. Most importantly, patents must be novelty and non-obvious. The first patent ever was issued and signed by President George Washington on July 31st, 1790 to Samuel Hopkins for his process of making potash, an ingredient used in fertilizer. Next thing you know, we've gone from fertilizer ingredients to animal ear protectors in patent 4233942. God forbid dog ears get wet while drinking water. Patents literally cover every invention imaginable, no matter how ridiculous they are. Lastly, there's copyright. Copyright applies to all types of original expression. It gives the holder exclusive rights to publish, print, perform, film, or record a text, and authorize others to do the same. It's also automatic. So some history of copyright. It originally only lasted 14 years when it was first created. However, today it's the lifetime of the author plus 70 years. For a corporation, a total of 95 years. But there's always exceptions to every rule, right? So let's play a game. Guess which of these four had the biggest impact on copyright laws? WSU? Impossible. They stink at everything. Dr. Michael V. Eisenberg? No, he just recruited us to tell you guys what the answer to the question really is. Music industry? It has its share of copyright infringements, but it isn't what started it all. That's right, it's Mickey Mouse. Who would have thought that? This brings us to the Mickey Mouse case. Let's be honest, there's no way Disney would let their most iconic character enter the public domain as the copyright for Mickey Mouse came close to ending. Therefore, in 1998, Congress passes what is known as the Mickey Mouse Protection Act, extending copyright protection for 20 more years. With the deadline for extension getting closer, it'll be interesting to see what Disney does in 2018. So do these look familiar? A lot of the Disney classics were based off of fairy tales told by the Brothers Grimm, whose works weren't protected by copyright at the time. Disney made negligible changes to differ their stories. So some issues with copyright. One main critique about copyright is the author's ability to camp on their creations for years and years, which would create a disincentive to innovate, which is the opposite of what copyright was created for. Basically, this doesn't allow for other people to build upon their ideas. Enter Creative Commons!
What does it mean to be human if we don't have a shared culture? And what does a shared culture mean if you can't share it?
It's only in the last 100 or 150 years or so that we've started tightly restricting how that culture gets used
in the way.
Creative Commons is designed to save the world from failed sharing. People who actually want to share stuff, who put it up on the web because they want to share it on certain terms.
So we wanted to create a simple way for creators to say to the world, here's the freedom that I want to run with my creative work. Here are the things you're allowed to do.
Can I reproduce it? Can I copy it? Can I put it in my textbook? Can I use that photograph? Can I make a new version of it?
Creative Commons gives tools to creators to make a choice about copyright.
Creative Commons is a new approach to intellectual property that enables the sharing and use of creativity and knowledge through free legal tools. It's the standardized way to give the public permission to share and use your creative work on conditions of your choice. It's intended to promote rather than stifle creativity and innovation. In conclusion, did you happen to realize that there was a medley of pop songs playing in the background throughout the presentation? Every song played was based off of the same 4 chords. Would you say that this is stifling to creativity in that every song actually does use the same chords? Or are artists more creative now because so many different songs have been created using the same basic